got a win, so I thought I'd like to share the game. There are quite a few games of losing every freaking game. I finally got a win. So, yeah, just playing my favorite opening right now. That character, this Slav, semi-Slav, I think it is, with d4, c6. So, yeah, and then we challenge the center. White's moves this variation, which is the advanced variation. It kind of weakens d4 though, which is not great for white. That's why he prefers to simply bring out the knight, because that's slightly weak, and this can be undermined. This can become a target. So just developing the bishop. You see, so as soon as that comes there, which is what it does, this seems like there's lots of air around that king, around that white king. And meanwhile, all of white's pieces are still undeveloped. So white's lost his edge. You can see in the reading that it's equalized. So white's lost his edge. Keep the tension. The idea is to keep the tension and to develop. So that's not the best move. And this is where, yeah, I mean, look, I'll tell you what, I did consider this. But I think I played it in a recent game and it didn't work out so well. I thought that this might be better at the time. And remember, this is a 3-minute game here that I'm playing. This is a horrible move, actually, now that I see the evaluation. Stockfish hates it, eh? He absolutely hates it because, yeah, he's saying, why did you do that? What did he want me to do? He wants me to challenge right away. Because then if the queen takes, then pawn takes, and you've got an open file here. Alright, so anyway, whatever. So here, and he wants to really get rid of that queen, doesn't he? We can then see that we're taking back here. He doesn't like it so much, eh? He wants to equalize with the queen. I like the idea of just opening up the C file, but then look what happens. I mean, bang, I just get smashed there. And white's in the lead at the moment. I'm not doing very well in the opening at the moment, so I've got no choice. I'm really on the back foot. Black's really on the back foot here. And simply because of that queen move versus this. And this is not doing me any good at all. This event is still a b6 defensive move. But, you know, look, 3-minute game, and I just had to quickly defend that pawn. So that's a mistake. That's a blunder, more than a mistake. Stockfish just says, look, man, you've got to develop your pieces and get them into the game. Because if you do this, then black's got that. And that can fall right now. He gets out of it. He's crafty. He kind of is crafty. He does get out of it, but I guess it's because I missed something. Yep, I missed something. I didn't see this. See, he's coming in to pin. He pins that knight, which is nice. He's pinned my knight there, which is also kind of, so I'm really like locked up and a little bit panicky. But what I miss is this. I could have simply taken the bishop. So rook takes bishop, queen takes rook, knight takes queen, bishop takes queen, and this is what I kind of did not see at all. What is going on here? He gets out. Check. Take. And what's the piece count now? 1, 2, 3 versus 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've dropped pieces there somewhere. Was anybody able to keep track of all those dropping pieces? Because I wasn't. There was no way I'm calculating all of that in a 3-minute game, but I definitely did not see that move. That's a cool move, huh? But I mean, look at the mad calculations you have to do. Just insane. All right. So anyway, I just hit that bishop, which I knew wasn't an optimal move because it got him out of it. Defending that a7 pawn, the LS pawn. Develop king safety, protecting the knight too. So yeah, I'm fine with all of those trades. Castle, and then I want to get right over there. Now my rook is a target. He wants to go after this guy and stop him from moving. Interesting. Double the rooks. Whenever you're on an open file, you want to double the rooks on that file. Basic principle, so you don't need to think too much. Just always go for that when you see it. Interesting. And this was a better choice for sure. I end up going on the other diagonal. I go on this diagonal. But after I went on this diagonal, I regretted it. And I noticed that I should have gone here. Why? Because you're in front of the pawn chain. So you basically, when you move your bishops in this stage of the game, you want to keep them in front of the pawn chain. Because if you put them behind, then you end up having a bad bishop. See? So this bishop is kind of now behind these pawns. And he's on this side of the board. He's on this side, which is behind. Okay? You want to keep him on the outside of that pawn chain. This is called a pawn chain. Chain of pawns, and the weak point in the pawn in the chain is the backward pawn. And then if that guy moves, if he moves, then that one there becomes the weak link in the chain. All right, very well. So here we go. That costs him the game, actually. It's this move that costs him the game. After this, it's a one-way ticket for him. I just go for simplification now because I think I'm a pawn ahead. And I was, I just want to get on with it. So here we go. Oh, he wanted to take it right away. Yeah, I'm going for that one instead. He attacks the rook, get the rook out of there. And it's this part of the game that I wanted to share, actually, because it's just nicely instructive. It's just about not making mistakes. It's not blundering, okay? The idea now is to not blunder. I'm winning, and I don't want to blunder. So, and he was playing, he was playing all right. He was hitting me each time with each move. He's locking my dark square bishop in now as well. Dark square bishop can't get out, and maybe he's also creating some space there to push that, but force him even into a worse position. Maybe that's what he was thinking. Yeah, so he wants to attack that knight. He wants to attack the knight. What would have happened if I hit that knight? Check out that one. These are options. Okay, that's the best option because you're attacking the rook. The rook can attack there. Now that knight is pinned. The knight's pinned. Oh man, this is just that horrible. Look at the way he plays. I mean, I just love this stuff that Stockfish does. It's just so sharp. It's just so sharp. Beautiful play there by the fish. Alright, so now instead I'm coming down there to attack that. And this is the point of this this video, is that I'm simply looking for what's already set up. That's the target. So now I want to put something else on the target. So that's kind of what's going through my mind. in how I can make my moves and how I can make my attacks. All right, so this is what I call a nexus square, the coordinated attack point. Okay, he's attacking that, so you've got to be careful. And you know, when you're making those moves, you've got to sort of think to yourself, okay, I'm going to go there, how's he going to defend? He's going to have to defend by what? And there's nothing he can do to defend that, except maybe bring that knight over here, or bring the knight over here, and then he'd be defending it for the second time. Would it work? I got that far when he actually, when I decided to just go for it. And yet, Stockfish's idea is defend that way. He defends by counter-attacking. So that's where you've got to be careful, and you've got to know not to take with the bishop. Take with that, and that's what I saw back here. I thought, okay, if I go up here, even if he does defend with this knight, I've still got the pressure there, and I've still got an attack on that. I've got that check. So I'm looking at that check when he does this. And so then I see, okay, what's he doing? What's he doing? Always ask yourself that question. What's he doing? What's he attacking? He's attacking my rook. Doesn't matter because I already had that up my sleeve. He moves out. Now you want to, now the idea is when you've got the exposed king, you attack the king. You attack the king. Oh wow, no way. No way. How did I miss that? I did not see the skewer. Unbelievable words. How did I miss the skewer? That's a skewer. How would you have gotten out of the skewer? Like that. By counter-attacking on the rook, so you take and oh no, that's defended, it's fine. There's no, there wouldn't have been a, you wouldn't have survived. Yeah, but I didn't see the skewer. Oh man. That sucks. Okay. I took with the pawn. Don't know why I took with the pawn, but whatever. Lesson learned for next time, look for the skewers. He wants to develop the king. He wants to bring that on the weak pawn. So you want to be looking for the weak points in my opponent's position. And that d pawn is right there for the grabs. I want to just stop him from coming in. Cat just did that. Sorry about that. Cat just did that. The cat just jumped on the computer screen and now it's going nuts. Hey, can somebody grab that cat before it destroys everything? Man, I don't even know where we are now. Where are we? He's over there on the back of the computers. He's ripping the things out of the computers.
By the way, the mic is available.
Okay. Where are we, man? Has anybody been keeping track here? Okay, here, 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 here. Alright, there. Boom, 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 boom. Skewer missed. Good. And then go for the weak point in your opponent's position. And why go for this one instead of this one, which is what I did? Because this one is blockading the d pawn. And the d pawn is a central pawn that would be lovely to push. I went for this one instead. He can defend it with the king. So he's still asking me, saying, please, Lance, can't you see? Can't you see that, buddy? And I'm saying no, because I'm looking at this. So that's a psychology, right? So you want to be having an open mind while you're making your moves. I saw this sort of back here. I was looking at that knight and I was thinking, where's that knight going to go? And I wanted to stop him from being able to do any of this, you know. I was kind of looking at that little pathway that he had, so I was thinking to myself, okay, stop that from happening. And because I was thinking that way, oh, by the way, you can actually defend. But because I was thinking that way, I wasn't grabbing the opportunities that were presenting themselves, like that one, for example. because if I did that, and then if he did, oh, and then if he did this, oh, okay. No, what about if he does that? Look at that one. That's a nice little one, isn't it? What happens there? Oh, look at that. That's a nice. That's called attraction. Attraction. You attract. He's changing his mind. He wants to make a clearance. He wants to do this and then protect that and then use that to create a pass pawn. That's what he's thinking there. But notice that his second option, which was his first before, is that. Where the idea there is to attract the king away, and then you've got this, or with the rook. Okay, so nice, but this is, yeah, that's stronger. That is stronger for sure. Okay. I stop him. That's kind of my thing that I like to do, just stop the frustrate, as you mentioned. So he's attacking the bishop. Be careful, don't blunder, don't lose that bishop. He's attacking me. Get the bishop out of there. So now I'm going to, yeah, hang on, I don't remember this happening. Really? This is what happened? I didn't think we did this. Now I'm finally noticing that d4. And then that's where he resigns here. Look at that, his best move is to sacrifice his knight. And this was another reason for sharing this game, because, yes, okay. You have to be very careful here. You have to be very careful when you do this. The rook and the bishop next to each other, they don't protect each other. And that means that they can be double attacked with the king, okay? So that's why I had to be very careful with this move. There's the double attack, you see? They're not protecting each other. So the only way to do it is by, you've got to protect the rook. And that bishop cannot protect that rook. So the rook has to move. And he can't move anywhere that can keep his protection, his defense on that bishop. So that's an easy mistake to make. Unless it's a trap. Unless you say, okay, you can go there, but when I move my rook, I'll be putting it in a position which can then take advantage of your weak piece, your undefended knight. So that knight is undefended. How do I take advantage of it? Like this. And that's when he resigned. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that game.